Okay, I'm just going to talk about the objectives of a firm. Okay, so the objective of a firm, so marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. This is where profit maximisation takes place. So what we do here is we just draw an ordinary monopoly diagrams showing supernormal profit. However, on the same diagram, we can also draw sales revenue maximisation, which is where MR is equal to 0, and growth maximisation, which is where the average total cost crosses the demand equals the average revenue line. Right, so we can have 3 points on here: profit maximisation, sales revenue maximisation, growth maximisation. That's quite a cool starting point. However, there are lots of different objectives for a firm. Survival, there may be greed, e.g. the banking sector. Social and ethical, the firm may want to improve its corporate image. Okay, for example, if we look at Tesla wants a sustainable world. That's its main modus operandi. The Cromwell wants to produce great food. Riverford, and it has a climate change fund where they spent 1.8 million quid. So they look after all of their workers. There's also social and ethical concerns. Well, the banks, they maybe went for the greed objective, for the massive growth objective to make even more money. So that was a case of irrational exuberance, which is the case where bringing all the behavioural economics like bounded self-control. Also herding, everybody's making money, so everybody joins the crowd. Now, we then move on to the concept of divorce of ownership and control. The divorce of ownership and control means that the owners of, say, the banks were the shareholders, the people who controlled it were the managers on there. So with an entrepreneur, what you find is that they own the firm and they also have all their money invested in it. They also run the business. So there is no divorce of ownership and control. The ownership and control is, but the owners and managers of the firm are different groups with different objectives. So the owners probably want profits, whereas the people who run it, who control it, may want to have a growth objective or something like that. It can also be called the principal-agent problem. The principal, once again, is the owners or the shareholders. The agent is the person who actually runs the firm. So the managers will run the firm through their own objectives. Remember what they could be. They could be ethical concerns. They could be they want to break new boundaries. It could be that they want to have the largest, biggest firm in the whole world. Right. So there's lots of reasons why people may run their firms. If a company takes excessive risks, like the large bonuses, like the banks, everyone's going after as much money as possible, then this creates a problem. And then we talk about the problem of moral hazard, remember, where banks are too big to fail, so the governments will bail them out if there's a problem. We may also be suffering from asymmetric information, is that the owners may not know what the agents are doing. Okay, right. So then we come to the concept of satisficing, which is achieving a satisfactory outcome rather than the best possible outcome. So what you have is in a firm, you may look after all the workers, you may look after the workers, the shareholders and the managers. So the shareholders want profits, but you also make sure that you pay the workers a reasonable wage. Okay, so satisficing, in a way, it's going for an easier life. And some people would argue that creates too much complacency. There might be a lack of dynamic efficiency, a lack of creative destruction. However, that may not be the case. In terms of the banks, there's a divorce of ownership control. Everybody was after just making as much money as possible. If you take Riverford, they look after all of their stakeholders. They don't actually have shareholders, but they look after their workers, they look after the community. They give money to food banks, etc. Okay? So satisficing is creating a satisfactory outcome for everybody within the firm.